on strengthening teaching, learning, and evaluation process in higher education, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell and the Teaching Learning Center of BVC. Thank you once again, each one, for joining us, and we thank our speaker, Professor Vayo Shokan, for joining us and also for agreeing to take the two sessions of today. Before I hand it over to Sir, I would like to introduce our speaker for the day. Professor N. Ashokan is a professor and head of the Physics Department, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram Campus, Chennai. He's an educational leader, consultant, certified accreditor, faculty development resource person, mentor, keynote speaker, and lifelong self-learner. A resource person on outcomes-based education, accreditation, and implementation of NEP. He was the former director, dean, and principal of leading educational institutions at Tamil Nadu, India. He has 25 years of experience in the development of sound educational institutions, demonstrated excellence in determining and formulating policies, executing and implementing strategies, and providing overall direction to growth. Enterprising leader with ability to deal with people and process across levels and from diverse background. He has obtained his full-time PhD in material science, engineering education from NITTTR Chennai, University of Madras, Chennai. Material science from Regional Engineering College, REC Trichy, and MSc Physics from National College Trichy, Tamil Nadu. He is also a certified accreditor for Asia Pacific Accreditation and Certification Commission, Colombo Plant Staff College for Technical Education, Manila, Philippines. He has expertise in taxonomy of teaching, learning, and assessing process, revised Bloom's taxonomy, constructing multiple choice questions, faculty development programs on academic delivery and academic audit, micro and macro teaching, performance excellence, developing personal mastery, and educational leadership. He has trained more than 34,000 professionals throughout India, created 700 e-content design using Canva. He has developed an innovative pedagogy, staff-structured syllabus model based on revised Bloom's taxonomy and implemented successfully. He has published a book in 2020 titled A Textbook on Higher Order Cognitive Abilities, ebook on Concept 3 in 2021, ebook on Learning Outcome-Based Education in 2021, writing a book on crux of the MCQ, and he has verified and corrected more than 25,000 multiple choice questions for online exams. He is a life member of ISTE and received Best Paper Award in 12th ISTE Annual Convention of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry section. He is an advisory, editorial, and reviewer board for the International Scientific Journal of Contemporary Research in Engineering, Science, and Management. GRD Journals member of editorial board member of the International Journal of Advanced Study and Research Work. Sir, it is indeed an honor and a privilege to have you with us to take our sessions for today. Handing over the sessions to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam, for a nice introduction and very warm greetings and very good morning to one and all present here for this 5 days, first day of the 5 days FDP program. Today's topic we would like to discuss on this learner focused learning, and my discussion is going on two parts. Or the first part, in all the two parts we discuss about, basically start with this what is the definition of learner, what is the definition of focused, what is the definition of learning. Then we discuss what are the components of quality learning and what is learningful. And we have always most of the time we work on this achievement and performance, but we need to discuss about this what is the performance goal versus learning goal, and what are the three domains of the learning according to Benjamin Bloom. And we talk about this after this pandemic. There is a new term is coming up, learning agility. And in the corporate world, there is a buzzword called this learning and development is there. We also want to touch upon that. And of course, as per this National Education Policy 2020 implementation, they are focusing on this blended learning. We'd like to see what are the three components of blended learning. And of course, any organization now has to be this learning organization. So unless an individuals in the organization learns, the organization will not never learns. But the reverse vice versa is not applicable on that. And of course, the very important part and most neglected version of this learning and teaching, learning, assessing process is the pedagogy. We'll discuss about that. What is pedagogy? What is this? More than 100 pedagogies are available. We'll discuss. I will give all these pedagogies that. And finally, we discuss about some around 8 to 10 different learning theories are there. It's basically that how this human being learning is happening is done by a lot of research by this social scientists, including this how these our it's basically part of this psychology of this human being and how these neurons are working with our brain. All these theories are dealing with that. So we'll give some exposure to what are the different learning theories are there. So over the period of time, if the faculty members learn one theory after one another, so over the period of time, maybe 5 to 8 years, they will become master of this all the learning theory. So once they go to the class, they can able to see how best they can able to deliver the content is. So this is the my discussion for the two parts that. Okay. So let us start with this. What is this first, the basic definition of this thing. See, first we would like to understand what is the purpose of this discussion. This today's discussion is basically this help learner perform better today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. So we want to help the learner to perform better today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. That is the purpose of this discussion, right? And I talk about this learners mean first we'll decide decide who is the learner that. So for this contest, this discussion, a learner means we always think about as a teacher, we always comes students in our mind, the first and most important that we give more importance to the students. But as far as this discussion is that I'm not talking about student alone. I'm talking about the teachers, teacher learner and student learner, or I can use the word learner teacher, learner student, whatever it may be that. So the learner means anybody interested to learn. All people will become learners. Teacher and student, not only student. So again, this learning organization, the learning organization is consists of individuals. So when the individuals learn, definitely the organization will learn. So we have to think about not only the learning of the individuals, collectively we have to think about whether our organization is the learning organization. That matters a lot. So we will have the contest in the three different contexts, that is a teacher as a learner, student as a learner, and how this learning organization has to be there. So this is the contest we want to discuss. What are the points we are going to discuss? This is the contest. Individual learners, you may be the teacher, then you are the learner, you may be the student, you may be the learner, and all together learning organization. How this? And this, you know that already 2020 started this implementing this national education policy, and every year at the end of the year, this national education policy, the implementing agencies are preparing the 1 year report. What are the challenges they are going to face it at the end of this every year? They are preparing the report. So different agencies, some 36 agencies are working on implementing the national education policy. So at 2030, they are going to revise all the 10 years, all the 36 agencies annual report. They are going to discuss on 2030. So again, they have to revise the implementing strategy of national education policy from 2030 to 2040, what they are going to do that. So 2040, definitely we have a new education policy. So what I guess is, since these learners, we are giving more emphasis on that, during the discussion 2030, we may use only the word learner. We may not use the word student, or we may not use the word teacher, or we may not use the word faculty. This is my assumption that. So we are all prepared to be mentally prepared ourselves. We need to unlearn our logo or tagline as a teacher, and we have to relearn that we are the learners. So please be prepared your mental mindset that We are the learner, not the teachers. So it may come officially also during 2030. This is my assumption. I may be wrong also, right? And now I want to define what is focused. So learner, we decide who is the learner. Now we want to define what is focused. Focused means, do we have the ability to differentiate between which is important to me, which is unimportant, which is significant to me, which is insignificant, which is relevant to me, which is irrelevant to me. This is the first level. So if I have the ability to differentiate between which is important to me, which is significant to me, which is irrelevant to me, then I am focused. So the first level of focused. Second level of the focus is that not only I have the ability to differentiate, I have to take action on which is important to me, which is significant to me, which is relevant to me. So there are two levels. If I say I am focused, I have the ability to differentiate between which is important to me and which is unimportant. And second level, second step, I have to take action on important thing, which means that I am focused. Which means that I am focused. So this is the definition of focused. Then we'll come up to this next level, that define definition of the learning. So if you take very old definition of the learning, this is the a change in behavior of a person. So what is my behavior before learning certain things? What is my behavior after learning certain things? So there must be a change in my behavior. Otherwise, there is no learning is happening on that. So this is a very, very basic definition of learning. So before I learn something, what is my behavior? After learning, what is my behavior? So that behavior has to be observable and measurable. That's very, very important. So again, this outcome-based education is emphasized more on this observable and measurable objectives, learning objectives. So that learning objectives, we call it as this behavior, that, which means that if learning is happening, definitely every individual, because of that learning, some change in behavior must be there. Those behaviors must be observable and measurable. This is a very, very basic definition of that. Now, there are a lot of changes happening in the definition of this. We'll see what is that. And again, this UNESCO or these world education regulating agencies like World Economic Forum, World Bank, UNESCO, and Sustainable Development Goal, all the people are talking about this quality of educations. They talk very seriously talking about that. Now, these are the UNESCO says that these are the 4 pillars of education. Again, this is education is the whole. We call it as a system. Learning is one part of the education. Okay, so let us not confuse that. Education is the complete system and learning is one part of this education. So 4 pillars of education, this UNESCO says that learning to know, acquiring the knowledge, and learning to do. Not only this acquiring the knowledge, we have the ability to apply our knowledge in the unknown situation, known situations, right? And learning to live together, that is very, very important. After this social media entering into our social life, this learning to live together is diluted altogether, that, which means that learning is not proper. And learning to be, yes, what is important to be, what you are going to create the new knowledge, what I want to create, what is your contribution to this society because of the learning. These are all things that very basically they're discussing about this. They're calling this the 4 pillars of the education, right? I'm talking about this quality of learning. So when it talking about this quality of learning, this has some few dimensions are there. So first one is connecting to purpose and meaning. So purpose means you have to ask the question why. Why I am doing this a particular activity? Why I want to learn Tally? Why I want to learn Excel? Why I want to learn Java programming? Why I want to learn how to balance this credit and debit accounts. So the purpose has to be clear, or otherwise as a learner, it's my responsibility to seek the purpose, why I want to study this. That is why this coming to this learning objectives, program objectives, program specific objectives, course objectives, all these things discuss about that, the purpose. So if we are able to make the learners to understand the purpose, why behind, what is the reason behind we want to learn certain things, the learning will become automatic. If as a learner, if I'm not able to have the clarity, it is my responsibility to seek out the purpose why I should learn these things. The first one. Second one is challenging the learners to have high expectations. So every time we discuss with the learners, we always fix the expectations with with the learners. That's very, very important. That if we this education psychologists, they call it as the classroom expectations. And classroom expectations, which means that in a class of and in a group of class, the group of students in the classrooms, for normally we have 60 students, you know that there's a mixed group of there, all kind of students will be there. So as a teacher, we need to fix the what we expect from the students with respect to this particular subject content or with respect to this particular course, in terms of marks, in terms of behavior, whatever it may be that. So from the beginning of the semester, if you go to the new classroom, please clearly spell out that what is your expectation from your learners. So for example, I want my students to score 60 marks in every examination we conducted in our college in first attempt. This is the expectation I want to fix it up. So if you fix it up very clearly, I want my students to score minimum 60 marks in every examination we conduct at college and university examinations in first attempt. So this is what I expect. The second expectation that, yes, I want my students to have minimum 80% attendance. So these are the two expectations. For example, I want to communicate to my students. So this very frequently, very often, we have to repeatedly, clearly, we have to spell out our students what as a teacher I'm expecting from my learners. Otherwise, also you can include any expectations how they want to behave. So I want my students to be available inside the classroom 5 minutes before. This is another expectations. So what are all the expectations you are expecting from your students, how they want to behave, what is the learning goal they want to achieve, all these things. As a teacher, if you have the clarity on the expectations, if you clearly communicated them, not only clearly communicated, very often if we have to tell, then definitely your expectations will be fulfilled by your students, by the learners. And third one is learning goals and focus beyond the basics. What is the learning goals? Learning goals is not only to score all the students to achieve a minimum pass in the examination, getting the degree is not the goal. So there are, if you take any knowledge or any skill, there is a different levels of mastery will be there. So for example, if you take Excel, so what is the mastery level I want my students to mastery? So learning to just data entry, entering the data into the Excel and just taking simple printout. This is the first level. And the second level may be that whether I want my students to know how to prepare the pivot tables, how to format the different formats, and how to different options they want to use it. This is the second level mastery from the Excel. If you go to the third level, if you whether my students are able to use the macro, and fourth level beyond this Excel, whether my students want to learn Power BI. So these are the different levels definitely will be there. For different levels of mastery will be there in every activity we do that. So what is the learning goal? You want to fix it up. That we have to very clearly have to spell it out. We have to clearly decide before taking any class on that. And next one is using engaging pedagogies. Pedagogies is the different methodologies, different teaching methodologies, different technologies. One has to acquire over the period of time, over the period of experience. And the moment you enter into the class, you can able to either you can before going to the class, you can able to plan which technique or which methodology you want to deliver this particular content to the students. Or the moment you enter into the class, you can able to observe the climate or mood of the students. Do you have the ability to change the pedagogy so that the content will be same? The delivering of the content you can able to change. Do you have the ability? These are matters a lot. These are the matters a lot for quality learning on that. And building relationship and belongingness. The relationship I'm talking about in three content. Relationship between the subject content with the students engagement, and student engagement with the teacher engagement, and teacher engagement with the student content. There is a triangle is there. How we have the right kind of relationship with the students, content and teachers in the triangle, that matters a lot. So if I'm able to make them that connectivity, the relationship is very strong, our engagement is strong, then learners will have definitely take the responsibility of the belongingness about their content, about their classroom, about their teachers. So that again another component of the quality learning is there. And providing the opportunity to contribute to the work. It's very, very important that. Again, it is the first point, the purpose. So what is my contribution to the my subject? What is my contribution to the my department? What is my contribution to my college? And what is the contribution to the society? So by learning this particular subject, this particular program, this particular skill, how I am going to contribute through learning to the society ultimately. So if I have your semester, if you starts, these are the basic components which leads to this quality learning. That if you have this clarity on these are the components of this different learning, quality learning, definitely within these 3 semesters you can reach to the highest level in your education field on that. Any learner will become the mastery within the short span of time, right? Now coming to this learning objectives is very familiar word already. All the people will be very familiar on that. Again, coming to that. So what I want to achieve within the short span of time for the next semester or next academic year or next 3 years, I'm talking about that. For example, I want to complete my PhD within next 3 years or next within 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. So that is my vision is there. So what is the current reality? Still, I have not registered for PhD. Still, I am not finding who is my guide. So that is the current reality is there. Now, I want to complete my PhD within next 3 years. So what is my current reality is there. So what is the gap from between this my vision, what I want to create, what I want to achieve within next 3 years? What is the current reality? That gap we call it as the learning gap. So learning gap. So any activity you do to fill up this learning gap will become your learning objective. That will become your learning objective. So if I want to complete my PhD within next 3 years, what I want to do first, I have to find out my guide. I have to register with the particular university, then start doing that. So every day what you do to fill up this learning gap, what is the activity you do every day, that matters a lot. So every activity you do to fill up the learning gap to achieve your vision is your learning objectives. So the learning objective when you're coming to this college every day, you have to bring some minimum of 5 to 8 or 10 learning objectives. These are the objectives today I want to complete it. So every day, how many learning objectives you are bringing to the workplace and completing at the end of the day, that matters a lot, right? So any activity you do to fill up the learning gaps, this will be, we call it as the learning objectives. So learning is the continuous process. You know that it's not a one-day process. That okay, then it's through which people can, the learner can acquire the new knowledge, new skill, new attitude, new technology, and develop this mindset. Right? The problems can be solved only through the collective intelligence. So individuals cannot nowadays in this current situation. The individuals can solve any problem, or the individuals can able to deliver their own responsibility will limited to only 30%. So independently only 30% responsibility only I can able to deliver. Remaining 30% responsibility I have to depend on somebody, or somebody is depending on me. So that dependence you have to clearly understand that. So which activity I have to do independently, which activity I have to depend on that. Another 40% activities or responsibilities is interdependent. Interdependent means I am depending on you, you are depending on me. So collectively only we can able to, together only we can able to deliver the responsibility. So that is why this learning, the problems can be solved only through the collective intelligence, right? And of course, learning involves a new understanding, new behavior, new thinking, new doing, and new always become the new normal. Always become the new normal. That so each one has this through learning. The each one has to do with how we think and how we interact and how we interact with one and learn with one another matters a lot. So that is another definition of learning is that through the learning how we think, how we interact and learn with one another. Not only I can learn independently, I have to learn with along with others also. This is another definition for learning is there. Now we'll coming talking about this. There are three types of learning in any learning environment. You can able to understand that. So one first type of learning is as a no learning will happen that. If you go to any classrooms, normally this learning I don't want to talk about the classroom, but for example, I want to give the example. I use the word classroom is there. Okay. So, but this learning, the discussion is not related to people sitting in the classroom and listening, passive listening is not the discussions. This learning is anywhere is happening 24 by 7 by 365 days happening all the time. So that kind of learning I'm talking about that. I'm not only talking about the classroom learning, but for an example, I'm taking classroom learning and that, right? So if you take an example in the classroom, right, if you go to the class, this no learning will happening always with some group of learners, which means that if you talk about some concept for 45 minutes, 50 minutes or 1 hour, definitely some group of people, no learning will happen. Which means that at the end of the class, if you ask what you learn about for the last 45 minutes or 50 minutes, they don't have the ability to remember the important keywords or concepts what you discussed. They are not able to reproduce, which means that no learning is happening. There are n number of reasons are there that the learning theory will discuss what is the reasons. Let us not discuss right now. But please be understand that one particular group of students, no learning will happen, which means that they are not able to recollect what they discuss, what they learned for the last 45 minutes, 50 minutes, important terms, keywords, whatever things are, right? The second one, always we talk about this rote learning. This will happen for some group of students, which means that at the end of the class, if you ask them what they learned for the last 45 minutes, they have the ability to tell very clearly what they understand, what they learned for the last 45 minutes. Not only that, slowly after 1 week, they forget about that, right? When you announce these assessment examinations, again, these people have the ability to again recollect all the information. They are able to present in the examinations very well. They will able to score good marks. But the worst thing is, as soon as the examination over, they forget everything on that. Which means that this type of learning, we call it as the rote learning, right? And the third learning, we call it as is very constructive learning or meaningful learning is that. What is that? This is the real meaningful learning, which means that whatever we discussed for last 45 minutes in the class, some group of students always they keep it in the long term memory. If you ask the students to recollect at any point of time in their life, they can able to reproduce that, which means that this meaningful learning will help the learners to apply their knowledge in the situations. They can able to apply their knowledge in the situations to solve the problems. So there are three types of learning will always happening when we even in this discussion, this current discussion, I can able to say some group of participants no learning will happen, some participants rote learning will happen, some only very few students will participants will have this only meaningful learning or constructive learning will happen. So what I want to emphasize is that if I go to the class first hour, a group, B group, C group will be there. Okay, if I same faculty go to the fourth hour, that group will change. That is the thing you have to understand very clearly. So whenever there is a period, it will change. The group A, B, C will always change. They should not. There will not be any permanent no learners, permanent rote learners, permanent meaningful learners in every period. That's what you have to be make it very clear on that. So when you go to the class, don't get stress yourself. When some kind of students no learning will happen, please accept that, because next hour, next period, again you go to the next class, definitely that group will always will change. So in every class, definitely this no learning, rote learning, meaningful learning, that group will always change. So my humble request for every participant as a teacher, don't attach any logo, don't designate any kind of students as the slow learners, or they don't have any learning capabilities. Don't tag with them. because in this world everybody having the learning ability is there. Only thing, we are not able to identify what is their learning style. That is why the discussion is going on. So the again purpose of the step, that's why I told you in the beginning, the purpose is we help learners to perform better today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So every human being in this world have this learning capabilities, learning style. It is the responsibility of the teachers to identify what is the every individual's learner's learning style. Accordingly, we need to impart the learning. That's what the discussion is going on. So, what are the features of learning? So, features of learning is that action. Only that you know the things, learn the things, it's not sufficient. You have to put it into action. So, action speaks. Action matters a lot. So if you don't act upon, that's why I told you that the focus is, but they're not only important, you should know what is important, you have to take action on what is important to you. So that's the important key features of the learning. Unless you take action on it, there is no use of the learning. This is some of the advantages of the learning that I'm talking about, that of course, so this expanding the ability to produce a continuous awareness, all these things. The third point I'm talking about, that the interdependencies between the actions and our reality, that's a very important that. So what is the interdependence between what I learn, what I act upon, that what's the current reality? So am I understand very clearly what is the current reality? That is the greatest advantage of learning on that. So once you know the current reality, yes, we can able to take action upon that. So the learning will tell you this, what is the interdependence between these actions and reality of that. And of course connectedness to the world around us. And of course it's always giving this development towards this certain competencies towards your personal growth and development. And definitely that there is a fundamental shift or movement of mind. That is there are I mean 4 or 5 different mindsets are there. So if the learning will happen, definitely you have this growth mindset. So growth mindset is very, very important. One of the key factors for the learning is there. We'll tell you that point later. So if you are that learning, this advantage, one of the greatest advantage of learning is that you can able to shift your mindset from fixed mindset to the learning mindset. So these are the advantages on that. So through the learning, we can recreate ourselves, we can regenerate ourselves, and we can able to do something which we are not able to be even before that. We continuously expand our capacity, continuously expand our competencies. And next concept we're talking about is a learning full. Learning full is this: the world becomes more interconnected, more dynamics, continuously changing in the complex, highly complex and dynamic. This work must become a learning full, which means that every day we need to learn to understand what are the changes happening that. So that will become this, we call it as the learning full. So capacity to learn at all levels in organization, we call it as the learning full. That is why in the beginning I put the contest: learning organization, teacher learners, student learners. So capacity to learn at all levels in an organization, not only students learn, not only teachers learn, or in all, everybody in the organization, right from housekeeping people to the drivers in the buses, everybody in the organization to learn according to their capacities, according to their requirement to deliver the content. That we call it as this learning full on that, right? Again, in order to you learn and succeed, others must learn and succeed as well. That's very, very important. That is a key for this learning full. That what is that? So not only I have to learn, that is not sufficient. The people around me in the department, in the organization, everybody should learn together. Then we have to travel together. That we call it as that's another term, we call it as the team learning. So team learning is there, right? So in the learning, there are 2 levels that there. So if you refer the book Fifth Discipline, written by this Peter Senge, he describes that there are 2 levels of learning is there. One is that learning is judged by what the learner can do, the results they produce. So there will be always, that's why we have the assessment, we have this Achievement test is one of the things we are assessed. We are judging the students as the learners, what they learn, what is the result they can able to produce in terms of marks. That is the one way we assess that. There's a tangible assessment we can able to do that. This is one level. Second level, the deeper understanding level, what is the result they produce? They're talking about the quality of result they can able to produce, the learners. What is the quality of results? I'm talking about that. The quality of results, that is why this highly, the inspiring teachers, the differentiation between the highly inspiring teachers to others and highly effective teachers to others. So what the inspiring teachers, highly effective teachers are doing, they are the same teaching, the teachers they're delivering the content, but they are able to produce the quality of results. So that's why they are differentiated from highly inspiring teacher, highly effective teachers from others. That. So there are two levels of learning. Not only that we can able to produce the result, the first level, the second level, what is the quality of results you are producing that, which means that you have the deeper understanding, deeper learning is happening. Without deeper learning, we cannot produce the high quality results on the same subject, right? So there are two levels out there. And past learning may not be useful in present and near future and future also. So this is what I always advise to my faculty members whenever I addressed it. Don't mistake me that. So when people say that I'm having 5 years experience, 10 years experience, please, again, I request you, please don't mistake me that. So I always ask the question, say, you have 10 years experience, 5 years experience, please, what you have achieved, what is your performance in the last semester? What is your performance achievement in the last 1 year, academic year? This is what I'm focusing on that, which means that even before last year, before year, whatever you achieved is not relevant today. So please, so I ask always my faculty members whenever the new semester started that we are all coming today. Today only we are joining today as a new faculty member. So please, we need to prove every semester as if we are joining us today as a new faculty member. In that sense, please start working on that. Definitely every semester, every faculty member, they can able to produce a top class results on that. So in that sense, continuously expanding your abilities, what you really want that. So let us not discuss about what we achieved 3 years, 5 years, 10 years back is irrelevant today. So what I achieved, what is my performance the last semester, what is my performance, what I achieved the last academic year, that only I can able to carry for this semester. So how I can do better when compared to last academic year, we have to focus on that. And of course, this is a self-motivated self-learning is there, and of course there are a lot of constraints will be there. And even today that after the introduction of this outcome-based education, accreditation, and the implementation of national education policy, there are a lot of confusions, lot highly complex it will become. Still we don't have any clarity. We need more clarity on how to go about it, and uncertainty will be there. Lot of new problems every day is coming up. That in spite of all these things, we have to see all these constraints and every day the problems coming up. All these things we have to see as an opportunity. What I can learn from these opportunities. So when I solving the problem, when I have the clarity from uncertainty, what I learn. So that is why there's a continuous learn must be there. We don't have any blame with others. There is no blame game, which means that I can't blame my parents, I can't blame my school, I can't blame my teachers, I can't blame my college, I can't blame my family members. Absolutely, I can't blame the system, I can't blame the even education system what we practice. Absolutely there is no blame game. So if we always think about that, it will be there always that out of all these things, how I can able to continuously learn, how I can able to sail through, how I can able to contribute to the society. In that sense, we have to go there. So every time we need to self-motivate ourselves. So we don't have anybody to self-motivate. So every day you wake up from the bed, yes, I am self-motivated. I am self-equipped. Today I want to do something. Today I want to complete this. Today I want to achieve that. That kind of self-motivation. Don't expect motivation from other side, outside. It's very difficult to get it. We need to, if it is possible, if you try to motivate others, is well and good. Don't expect others to motivate you. So I have to self-motivate myself, and I have to motivate others also. So if everybody motivate others means definitely that mutual motivation will be there. We can do a lot of wonders. So a career is a journey of constant and continuous learning is what the people are talking about, even the industry also, right? And of course, the self lifelong learning, of course, people always to know that what is that. But I want to use the word lifelong self-learning. I want the self word I added that with that lifelong self-learning is that. So learning is a process of enhancing the individual learner's capacity individually, not only individually, collectively, the produce result truly want to produce. What is that individually and collectively? I'm talking about that. For example, if you take this NAC accreditation is there. So NAC accreditation, we have the 7 criteria and around 153 key indicate performers are there. It is not possible for every one individual or one group of people to complete all these things. So we have to share everything for around all the people in the organization, in the college, right? So I am responsible for a criterion 1. I am responsible for key indicators, say 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. So with that, I am learning individually. I am contributing as a 7.1, 7.2, 7.3 key indicate performance. I am learning something, how to produce, collect the data, produce the data, upload it in the website. My contribution is there. Not only that, so I have to ensure that for all 153, every individuals has to learn, collect the data, and have to upload it in the on-site, right? That we call it as a collectively, which means that individually I learn small things, but I have to ensure collectively every individuals, then only the college will go for NAC accreditation. And please ensure that collectively the college achieves that NAC accreditation. It is a success of the college. It doesn't mean that the individual success, because NAC is very highly complex that. But without individual success, NAC, the college will not become success. So without individual contributions, the college will not get NAC accreditation. So if the college gets achievement, it is not the individual's achievements, because I know only the one small part in the NAC, but NAC is a very big thing that. So that you have to be very clearly on that. You should not feel anything on that. So what is my contribution for the college achievement, college development? That we call it as the collectively truly want to produce. That's the meaning of that. What the department, what the college truly want. So truly want. So what is my contribution individually? I have to help the others also. So collectively we can able to understand that. That is the basic definition of a lifelong self-learning is there. So if I ask that what's the purpose, why we want to do that? So again, I'm talking about this perform better. So develop the individuals learners competency in terms of knowledge, skill, talent, technology, and growth mindset. That's very important that, because that's a continuously we need to develop our competency. And by developing the competency, we can able to build the learner's strength. So whenever there is an unforeseen situation comes, the people can able to sail through that situation. That is why we need to strengthen our strength, and of course attain the personal mastery to create the new normal. So something which we are beyond our imagination, we want to create. So through this lifelong learning, we can able to create something which were not already exist on that. These are the purpose of lifelong self-learning that. So if you ask me what are the qualities of lifelong self-learners, if you want to ask that. So first of all, as a learner, we should have the willingness to act what I want, to take risk and to take fail. That's very important. So do I have the willingness to take risk? Do I have the clarity what I want? Do I have the clarity what I want to take act? Do I have the clarity to fail, even fail? That this is the one thing. Next one is willingness to practice, even after the fail, after fail. Do I have the willingness to practice repeatedly till I achieve what I want that? And self-discipline is very important. That if you don't, learners don't have the self-discipline, learning will not happen on that. Self-discipline is very important. Self-discipline means without anybody's instructions, I have to clearly understand what is my responsibility. I have to deliver on that without anybody's instruction, without anybody's follow-up, right? So, and the next one is the comfort with the repetitive. That's very important. Sometimes people will get bored if I say if I not able to become master in certain activities I have to do repeatedly many times. the people will get bored as why I should all this repeatedly have to do that. So do you have the comfortness to do repeatedly? That's very, very important. That, and more important that the performance, when coming to the performance, every learner do performance in front of others. But when coming to the practice, every learner has to do practice when they are alone. So what you are doing when you are alone, that matters, because what you are doing when you are alone, those things only you can able to perform in front of others. So what you are doing when you are alone, those things only you can able to perform in front of others. So the practice you have to do alone, the performance you have to do in front of others. So please understand what you want to do that. Now you have to clearly understand that the performance goal versus learning goal is there. So two types of goal. So we focus on the performance goal. What is that performance goal? Performance goal, we want to demonstrate. So we want to demonstrate, for example, if you take that we conduct the examination for the students. So what is the performance we are expecting from the students? We want every students to score minimum 50 marks or 60 marks in every examination to get a degree. So we want to prove that if the students score for 60 marks, okay, performance is over. But this is not the goal. As a learner, the performance goal will not work out. We have to work out the learning goals. What do you want to develop on that? In the different levels in the particular activity, particular knowledge level, or particular skill is there. So as a performance goal, we have to effective for straightforward problems. If the known the through the performance goal, if you achieve it, you can able to solve only the known problems. When the new situations, unknown problems comes, your performance achievement will not work out. Only if you have this learning, if you have the learning goal and achieve it, those learning goals only help you to solve the problem in the new situations. And of course, when you once you, as I told, no, that the performance goal, the stop trying or learning, that is a rote learning. Once the examination over, they forget about this learning. Whereas the learning goals, the meaningful learning, if you keep on trying that, keep on learning on that. So whenever you fix up, we work on with the students or the learners, always fix the learning goals. Don't fix the performance goals. If you fix the learning goals, the performance goals will automatically cover along with the learning goal. If you fix only the performance goals, learning goal will not attach with that. So try to have the learning goal. Your performance goal is automatically attached with the learning goals, so that you can able to do a lot of wonders on that. And again, there are 4 levels of a learner. If you're a teacher, if you're the student, whoever it may be that. So first level is the beginner. Yes, I can able to reproduce, or I can able to work, or I can able to deliver my responsibilities as a instruction based. I don't understand what these people are telling, but of course, I'll follow the instruction as when I was a beginner on that, the first level. The second level, I goes as a professional. So I can understand the why behind this purpose I'm doing, understand that. So I can able to do in my own style. In my own style, I can able to do the, sorry. I can understand the purpose behind that, I can able to deliver on that. That we call it as the professional learners. Mastery is that you understand this particular activity, why I am doing that, all this, then you are delivering the same thing in your own style. So in delivering the responsibility in your own style means you will become this master. First level, master. And fourth level of learning, we're talking about authority. Authority means you are the final person to take a call of any subject to become a debate on that. So the learner, if you want to become a learner as a beginner, professional, mastery, and finally you become the authority on that. So this is the track of or this career path of any learner is any profession, not only teaching profession. If you take any organization, any profession, this is the 4 levels. This is the career path of any learners. You have to take it up as a learner. First, I start with the beginner. I want to become a professional. Which means that professional means I'm clearly understanding why I'm doing this. What is expected from me? I can able to deliver on that. I can fulfill this my expectations. Or sometimes I can able to deliver beyond my expectation. Also that. Third level of the learning is mastery. Mastery means I can able to deliver this my responsibility in my own style, so that will become mastery. Authority means you are the final authority in your subject, in your activity, in your responsibility. You are the final authority, which means that you have the rich experience. Many number of times you repeated in different situations, so you have the complete idea about this, what will happen, that then whatever you say, that will become the final. So that four levels of learner you have to be understand that this is the learning path you have to take on any responsibility you take as a learner, irrespective of your designation, irrespective of your profession. The three domains of the learning, of course, we're coming to this Bloom's taxonomy. Benjamin Bloom, during 1950s, he did a lot of research on how this human being are learning on that. So initially he identified there are three type domains of the learning. First one is the cognitive, this which is related to how people are learning, how people are thinking about the subject, how they are understanding the particular subject they're talking about that. And later his own Bloom's taxonomy, his own students, Krathwell and others, they worked on that in 2001. They released another revised Bloom's taxonomy in the form of book called as a taxonomy of teaching, learning, and assessing. They are putting this cognitive into 6 different thinking levels, namely called the remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. This is a revised Bloom's taxonomy. This is the revised Bloom's taxonomy. We are talking about this outcome-based education and accreditation. We are working on it. And the second level is affective domain, talking about how the human being feelings, attitude, and values. Again, this is again how the people are receiving, responding to the situations, valuing certain things, organizing and characterizing. They are discussed in the terms of affective domain. And third one is psychomotor. This is how our brain and hand will connect together to perform particular activities related to the skill development, basically related to the skill development. So they related to the perception, your belief system, and guided response, and these are all related to the skill. So there are three domains in terms of learning is there. Now we have to think about learning in all the three domains. That's very, very important. Not only the cognitive domain, not only the affective domain, not only psychomotor. So all the three domains parallelly we need to develop. We need to develop as an individual, and we need to ensure that our learners also develop this learning in three major domains are there. So three major domains of the learning is there. And how can we overcome challenges to the learning? That's so first we understand how we learn, because every individual has the different style of learning is there. For example, for your understanding, but this is not the learning style. For your understanding, I'm telling this. So some people may wake up in the early morning about 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock and study, they prepare for the examination. This is one type. Some people, they sit in the late night till 11, 12, or even up to 2 o'clock, they learn, study, prepare for the examination. This is a kind of that, but this is not the learning style. So like this, I'm telling that every individual have different learning style. First, I need to understand what is my learning style. Then I have to understand what my students' learning style is there. And of course, if I have the learning goals, not performance goals, so I have to put it in smaller steps so that I can able to achieve one by one, so that finally I can able to achieve the entire goal. This is stepping down that. And how I can make this learning as a fun, enjoyable, and visible to others. That's another way we can able to do that. That's why we insist upon that. What is the different pedagogies we are talking about, and learning theories are we very faculty members to clearly understand that. And finally, categorize the skills according to this cognitive, psychomotor, and three domains are there. So every domain, it has different methodology, different steps are there. So once you understand that, what is the learning goal, this is one, how I can break down it, what is the right kind of methodology I can able to adopt so that I can able to do. So there is a standard script you have to write it. So this particular student, this particular learning goal, this particular methodology, I have to accept that. So this is the way we have to overcome the challenges for, but it is very individual. There is no common learning goal. There is no common methodology. There is no common thing will applicable to all people. Of course, if we go to the class, we can able to apply, but 60% it may applicable to common things, but 40% we have to work on very individually on that. So understanding how we learn that, say 10% what we read they can able to understand, another 20% what we hear, 30% what we see from we can able to understand, and another 50% what we see and hear we can able to understand. So if you want to learn very quickly, the only way is you can teach to others what you learn that. So you make every learner to teach to others so that they can very fast they can able to learn. So this is one way. If you able to understand, there are 5-6 ways are there, you can able to understand which way is applicable to individual learners. And again, talking about the learning into small steps. So point one, starting point one is there. So what is my learning goal, what I do that, how I can do step by step, which content I want, whether it is a hard content, whether it is a behavioral skill, whether it's a personal habits, or every step, what is a step every day, what I have to do. So every small step you take one by one. That's why I told you that write the script. So the script is very, very important that. So for individual learning goal, what is a goal, what type of goal I want to, learning goal I want to achieve, what is the mastery level I want to do, what is my current reality. So every day what I want to do, so step by step if I go, definitely I can able to achieve my learning goal. So this step by step, that script you have to make it on that for every individual things. And categorize the learning is, there are three types. That's only the hard skills, like your subject content will be there for subject matters is there, and personal habits is another thing. How I have to improve my time management, how I have to be more focused, how I balance my work-life balance, how I be. These are some personal habits. This is another category. I have to learn certain things. And behavioral skills, that is a managerial skills, leadership skills, negotiation skills, communication, team building. These are very important for every individuals. So we can categorize the learning, which area I want to improve, which area I want to learn that. So if you know, aware of, so these are the three areas are there. I am very master in, I am already completing my PhD, I have 10 years experience, I already published 30 essay indexed journals. Yes, you are highly strong in hard skills, but how about your personal habits? How about your soft skills? So first you have to be aware of it. So you have to understand, then if once you're aware of it, then you can work on it to improve on that. So every learner has to develop their learning skills in three different areas, not only in one area. It's awareness is very, very important that. Again, this now this every day this learning changing, learning style is completely coming on to change that. Then the how the people are learning, this continuously changing on that. The attention span of every individual learners is become very, now is becoming to only 4 seconds to 6 seconds. And learning is, people expect that learners not only gaining their knowledge, they want to be engaged, they want to be entertained, and they want to apply whatever they learn immediately. They want to apply that instant gratification. Every learners are expecting that. So keep it always in mind. Instant gratification. So whenever a student learner is completing a small task, if they are expecting some of them some kind of rewards or appreciation or that. So instant gratification is in today's one of the most expecting aspect from every learner is there. So whenever there is a possibility, always give the instant gratification for every learner so that they can continuously go on that. And again, this coming to this anytime, anywhere, on any device, that learning concept is totally changed. So as a learner, I can learn from any time, anywhere, on any device. As the content provider, as a teacher, he also to be available anytime, anywhere, on any device. That is also another important thing we have to know about, aware of that. You can't say that I can able to work on 9 to 5. I can available only on staff room. I can only available in the classrooms. Not like that. So we also prepared ourselves that we also available for our learners anytime, anywhere, on any device. So how we are going to balance all these things, we need to think about, and we have to work accordingly on that. Right? And this, now this learning is divided. Another we call it as the bite-sized learning. Is that is normally focused on only one key objective, learning objectives. Then it's very small. If are very based upon this span of attention, we can able to make it is 2 minutes, 3 minutes time. We can able to do that. We can able to do this kind of learning as that. So breakdown is small objectives so that the big objective can able to achieve on that. So like reading a small article on the mobile or watching a video for 2 minutes, less than 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes. So the bite-sized learning is anything is less than 3 minutes, you can able to do that. You can break it into that. And next one is the micro learning. People talking about this is focused on the how we approach the learning is there. So this is at some kind of text in terms of phrases or short paragraphs, images as photos, illustrations, videos of the short story and audios, the games. All these things will become the micro learning for a maximum of not more than 10 minutes. Not more than 10 minutes. It's very difficult to have that. So this is another concept we needed to create. That the micro learning is another concept is coming up. And learning in the flow of work is a new concept, is every day is coming up. So what is the learning in the flow? After this pandemic only, this is a new concept is introduced, that integrate learning with the work. Of course, everybody know that there's a new Zoom meeting, Google Meet, everything is new for this. I mean, 2 years back is a new thing for every teacher is there. And one example I can able to tell that during this, after this pandemics, on and off, we come to the workplace. Sometimes you work from home and coming to the physical mode. So whenever you coming to the physical mode, faculty members and students, we do not know how many students coming to the campus. We do not know how many faculties coming to the campus because of this pandemic. So one particular period of time, every day, college starts by 8 o'clock. So 7:45 to 8 o'clock, I have to quickly understand, quickly gather the data, how many students are come to the campus, how many faculties are coming, and according to the availability of the faculty, according to the availability of the students, I have to prepare the timetable within next 10 to 15 minutes, and I have to communicate, I have to disseminate, I have to implement before 8:15. So 7:45 to 8:15. Every day I have to prepare the timetable. I did it. That's why I'm talking about it. So for about 20 days, when people are coming on and off work from home and coming to the workplace, so we do not know how many people coming to campus, faculty as well as students. So every day from 7:45 to 8:15, every day we prepare the timetable. We ensure that we are implementing the timetable. So we have to anticipate, because every day the new constraints, new uncertainties are coming up. Don't get upset yourself. Be always open. Be always ready to restart from the zero every day. Please ready to restart from the zero every day. So when new situations comes, calm yourself, take a breath, and quickly apply your mind. So please bring what are the data available, where we have to collect it. So analyze the data and action plan and implement it. Ensure that it is implemented. All we have to do within 20 to 30 minutes. So that we call it as the learning in the flow of work. Integrate learning with the work. So every day we need to learn. And again, this work learning dichotomy is there, that we often witness the people are able to work, enhancing skill, but find this very difficult, challenging situations. The timelines is there, especially when the people are work from home. So this also you have to understand that. So what are the new things we want to work, we need to learn when we want to work from home? These are the things also there. And this is what I'm talking about, is a team learning. And I gave the example about this NAC accreditation, how individual has to contribute and how collectively we contribute to this success of the organization, success of the achievement of the department. That matters a lot. So every individual cannot take it as a credit that because of me only this college has achieved the accreditation. It is not true that. So because of the team learning only, the college has achieved this NAC accreditation. That. So, but individual learning, without individual learning, team learning will not be there, right? So is another concept we have to learn about. So whether we want to do individual learning, whether the team learning, how important is that? So, and again, this finally, this when coming to the learning, yes, a reading habit is very important. That not only the books, I'm talking about the subject books. So every day we need to, as a learner, we need to learn anything, any subject which is interesting to do that. So if you want to become a real learner, read something every day, 30 minutes or every day, 10 pages, any book, any content. Not necessarily you have to follow strictly some rules and regulations. If you take one book, continuously read, complete the book, not like that. You take any book, take any pages, you read for 10 pages and keep it. So that way you have to, that continuous reading habit we need to develop on that. Of course, this is a teacher as a leader, a leader as a teacher. I'm talking about not only the teacher is there, teacher in the educational institution, teacher in any organization, talking about that. So if a leader and teacher, you can able, if you see some people always around one particular gentleman, one particular leader, because that leader is creating some space and time for learning for others. So that is very, very important. If you are a learner, if you want to become the leader, if you become the leader learner, you have to create some space and time for the people around you so that anybody can learn from your space. That we call it as the leader as a teacher. So with this session, we'll complete this first session. So we discussed about this in the first session about last 40 minutes to 50 minutes. What is the definition of learner? Who is the learner? What is the definition of focus? What is the definition of learning? We discuss about the 6 different components of the quality learning, and we discuss about what is the learning goal and performance goal, and 3 important domains of learning. We discuss about that, right? So any questions so far we discussed, and we'll have some 5 to 10 minutes break, then we continue the second part of it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will break for 10 minutes exactly, sir.
Sure.
And before that, if we can take on the question and answer session, if there are any questions, the floor is open where we can take some questions.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Please, ma'am.
Yes, you talked about instant gratification, that every learner nowadays wants instant gratification. I find this idea very good, but can you please suggest us some ways which we can offer to students for instant gratification?
Say, if you ask the students to submit the assignment on particular date,
Yes, sir.
now please understand that nowadays we cannot fix one particular date to submit the assignments. Now we need to give range of dates. From you can able to submit your assignments on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days. Now because for current generation people, they they do not able to fix one particular date, is very difficult to get them. So you have to fix the range, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that series is there. So who are all the people able to come submit the assignment within these 3 days? You can give some appreciation note to the people as soon as the 3rd day is over. Yes, I am congratulate the following students submitted their assignments. I greatly appreciate. This is a simple assignment. So the other people, the people who submit the assignment, feel something that instant gratification. That also the people, those who are not submitting the assignments, it's a reminder for them also.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, simple appreciations here.
Any other questions? Any more questions? The floor is open for anybody to bring on some more questions. No more questions, anybody on the platform or from the room?
Okay, well, no problem. We'll have a break. After break, we'll continue. No
Okay,
issues.
sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. We will meet exactly in 10 minutes. After that, it's 12:15 now. We will meet at 12:25. Thank you, sir.